I got the turkeys in the back. What's up, my dudes? We got Thunder Valley 450 Moto 2. So I wanted to come in here and give you guys an accurate representation of what RF feels like to me now. So it would be like basically what it feels like to me is it's kind of like I'm having a nightmare that somehow a couple of drunk monkeys got a hold of RF and their one and only goal is to completely ruin this game. That's what it actually feels like. I'm not over exaggerating that. I'm not trying to just be funny with that. That is literally what it feels like in RF now. And it's not just with Erode, okay? There's a lot of other things going on around it that gives it that sort of feeling, but that is the vibe I'm getting versus how RF used to feel back in 2015, 16. You know, back in those days, it's just completely different. Like, I don't know what happened right there. Got a pretty good start finally, but RF, what is going on with this lag? It's worse than bad, dog. Like, it is absolutely unrideable lag. I mean, I have never seen it so bad. And just letting you guys know, reminding you, when I play this back in gameplay like this, you're not even seeing the lag at all. You're not seeing it at all. For whatever reason, when you play it back like this, it's not going to show the lag because you're not actually racing in that exact moment where it's going to show the lag. So don't get confused and thinking like, what, Spencer? I don't even see any lag. No, dog. Like, it was bad, bro. If you were actually seeing what I was riding in, you would be like, good God, I cannot believe that. I cannot believe, like, there was a time where when they had this amount of lag in a pro race, there was a time in RF to where they would completely red flag the entire race and restart the race or completely reschedule the race. That's what the lag feels like to me right now. It feels like so unrideable that I cannot believe they're even running it. That's what it feels like, and it's like they're just continuing to run it over and over and over, and it just kind of is what it is. It's like, once that gate drops, whatever kind of lag happens, you better be going in a goddamn straight line, because if you're not, your ass is going on the ground, bro. There is no really saving it. Like, when I say lag, I'm talking like complete loss of control of the bike for multiple seconds at a time, and you'll be just going in a straight line completely fine up on the bike, and a lag spike will hit, and then all of a sudden you're on the ground wrecked completely off the bike. No chance of saving it, no chance. It's the way that lag will spike in there. If you're going over a jump or scrubbing over something or doing anything like that, you're gonna pretty much be on the ground. Like, if you're not tiptoeing in your absolute Jordans, when that lag spike hits, you're done skied, dog. There's no way to save it. And I know it's not just me feeling this lag, okay? I saw Devin Davis posting, or I say posting, he was left a little chat there during this actual race, and he described the lag to an absolute T. He was like, my bike literally feels like it's like teleporting, and then you're like, the lag spike hits, and then all of a sudden you're like 15 feet past where you were, and you couldn't even actually control the bike in that time. So he described it to an absolute T. I don't know if everybody's getting this sort of lag, but I just know it ain't only me getting this kind of lag, and it is so bad. I don't even know if you realize this, RF. Like I think if you actually did realize how bad this was, you would be doing massive things to try to fix it, because it is so bad. I mean, I can't even describe how bad it is. I mean, it's literally to the point where you get into the race and you're like, this is a fucking joke. This has to be a joke. like literally, this has to be a joke. That's what I feel about like RF and the past 2 years and the whole Erode system. I feel like I'm having a nightmare, and like one day I'm just going to wake up and it's going to go back to that amazing MX Simulator Pro Racing experience that we all come to know and love from back in the days. I feel like I'm literally living in a nightmare with what they're doing to this game right now. I mean, it's unreal, man. I just cannot believe it. It's sad, but there was a couple wrecks. So I had that good start, and then had the dude, push my shit in there, ran into my ass, and I wrecked fourth, fifth corner, and went from like fourth back to 10th. And then I had a couple of wrecks right here that was literally 100% caused from the lag. Like, I'll try to kind of show exactly which little areas was completely caused from the lag, but like, there was one occasion where I tried to kind of like scrub over a jump, the lag spike hit, right? And I went over the jump, scrubbed it just fine, but then the lag spike hit, so everything froze up, and then all of a sudden I was on the ground. So it was 100% crash caused from lag. And it's got something to do with having the 40 riders on outdoors. That's certainly what is causing it, because I didn't have anywhere near this kind of lag in Supercross. I don't know what's exactly precisely causing it or what's going on with it, but the moral of the story is shit is unrideable, dog. I mean, I can't even describe it. Like, and you guys not being able to see it in the gameplay, it's not doing it any justice, but it's like, if you guys were actually seeing what I was riding in, you'd be like, good God, Spence, you're a goddamn champ for even being able to keep that bike up for more than one straightaway. Like, seriously, bro. That's how bad it was. This right here, dude backed up at the last second. That's kind of weird sometimes when you come up on somebody like that and they're backing up and you think their bike is one spot, but once you actually get up to them, they're like, the bike moves just like a millimeter and then it hits your front end, you go down. I don't know why that happens sometimes in this game, but it does. So I seen a couple of you guys talking about, you guys know the whole outrage we all had back in the Fox Raceway race, which was last week, right? All the outcry. So this is the lag wreck right here. Went over that jump completely fine, and then all of a sudden I was on the ground. Like, the bike just completely spun around. And of course, it's going to look like I just made a mistake, right? But it wasn't like that in the race itself. That was completely caused by the lag. But so then basically it was just like all right, dudes, I'm just on the gas. Let's just hope that lag doesn't whoop my ass scrubbing over a jump or turning in a corner. That's pretty much all it was. I wasn't even really worried about the race anymore as much as I was trying not to wreck when the lag spike hit. It's insane the mindset you get in when you start getting into this. But so basically, like back last week with the Fox Raceway, you guys remember me talking, we were all complaining to RF, pretty much every single person in chat minus like two dudes that just, want to get in a circle jerk about Erode no matter how bad it is, right? Everybody else in chat was like, yo, this ain't cutting it. Me, Hunter Root, Alexis Leclerc were like, what is going on? This is crazy. This is not making real ruts at all. It's bad, right? The flat track and highway. You guys remember me talking about all that, right? And then basically RF got in there and started talking in chat last week about how they were going to try to do more of like a 60% pre-made, 40% Erode kind of level. And what did they come in here and do? They literally add about 10% more pre-made roughness, and that's it. That is all they really did, guys. I'm not joking around when I'm saying that. Like, that is pretty much all they did. The pre-made ruts still pretty much feel exactly the same. But, oh yeah, nice get up there, bud. See, right there, like, I have those occasions where people get up sideways like that, literally in the middle of everybody racing, and I could protest for that. You could have everybody banned if you wanted to, but, shout out to all the people that don't just want to protest over nothing. Good God, man. like that occasion right there, technically he shouldn't have gotten up like that and went across the track. I had to get on my brakes, keep from running into him. But it's part of racing. It is what it is. I'm not going to go in there and bitch and cry and protest the guy. Like, good God. And then I get up in Supercross in a corner, get up in a goddamn corner, and somebody wants to protest me over that because they come over a blind jump and hit me in a goddamn corner, and then I actually get suspended for it. Holy fuck. Thank God RF has kind of changed their ways a little bit on their protest system. Seems like they're giving away a lot more warnings now versus full-blown, bam, suspensions, 2-week suspensions for, like, pretty much absolutely nothing. Like, I can at least give RF some credit on that. They do seem to be given a lot more warnings now for things that they used to suspend for instantaneously without even looking at the context of the situation. So that's a good thing, but basically that's all they did here. I mean, there is still a lot of flat track and highway vibe going on. I was seeing a couple of you guys going in there and saying, oh, the Erode feels so much better on this track than it did last week. Listen to me, boys. anything will feel better than that Fox Raceway track in Erode. Anything will feel better than that. So that's not even really saying much. Like, it's not. But the reason why it feels a little bit better is because of that little bit more pre-made roughness, so it doesn't feel quite as much like an absolute, flat track and highway vibe. But really, honestly, the Erode is still just as shitty as it's always been. It's not really like that part of it was really all that much better. It's not, guys. I hate to break it to you, but I think it's really more of just this is a lot better of a track. It's not as much of a flat vibe track, and you're getting a little bit more of that, and them adding the 10% more pre-made roughness made it feel a little bit more like what you come to know and love and expect. Yo, RF, once you get to the point where you go in there and add about, I don't know, 20-30% more pre-made ruts in the corners and like 20 or 30% more pre-made roughness and lower that erode down even more, you'll be in even more business, dog. And then you'll get to the point to where you've got like 90% of a pre-made track and then 10% erode on it, and then you'll be damn near back to the way you were before you even had erode, and then you might as well turn erode off. Congratulations! You're figuring it out! Oh, shit. This is what I've been talking about, boys. So got my shit pushed in again. I don't even know how the hell that happened. That was kind of insane. That dude just came out of nowhere. Like, where in the hell is he going? Oh, yeah, this was another spot where the lag bit my ass right here. So I went through here, right? So on my screen, I was went through this tough block, and as soon as I hit the tough block, I was like, okay, I'm going to be all good, going to go right through the tough block, not going to fall down. Lag spike hits, okay? So all of this sort of time frame right through here, I'm not even actually seeing what's happening. My screen's completely frozen. And then I come to, like right here, and I'm already on the ground. So that's kind of what the lag is doing right now in RF, in the Pro Nationals. That's what it's doing. But yeah, I was so close, guys. So close to not even racing this race. I was so close to just completely quitting the pro racing in outdoors. I seriously was. With that 2-day open qualifying, holy God. Like, RF, just listen to me. You tell me, does this even sound fun to anybody? You're going to need to go in there and run about, I don't know, anywhere from 250 to 500 laps on the same exact track to run one qualifying lap time and figure out all these weird crook, jump, hump, side angle jump lines and crap that you're never going to really be able to hit in the actual race, but you got to do it just to qualify with all these other people to get 2 days to qualify. You just want to sit there and burn 500 laps on the same exact track over and over and over. Oh, and about, I don't know, 80% of those laps that you run, the erode on the track is not even going to be good enough to even run your actual fast lap time, so you're really just burning laps for no apparent reason at all until you're on like lap 4 or 5 or 6 where the erode is actually big enough but not too big to where it's going to slow you down on the lap. RF, does that even sound fun at all? Why is that in here? You have got, oh, I cheesed that dude so hard. That was my bad, bud. I had to do it to you, man. Oh, it's so sad how you can like use people as a literal berm in MX Simulator. Like you can use people's bikes as berms with the collision of MX Simulator. Oh, Jesus Christ. I've had it happen to me so many times, but like when you realize that, like, that's pretty much you can bank off of people in the corner. So it makes more sense to run into somebody than to not run into somebody in this game. Like, you're getting way more of a benefit, way more of a safe outcome from literally Bam Bam Barsha slamming somebody in the corner versus trying to pass them smooth and easy and safe and shit. Like, nobody does that. Nobody does that. Got a 2-stroke ripping across in the yard. One of my neighbors ripping it up right now. My bad if you hear that, boys. But, I mean, just imagine, like, this is another thing that I've realized the erode system has kind of done to the whole game. It's changed the entire ecosystem in a way that it's just so terrible. Like, get this, all right? So you remember back in the days, imagine just being a guy, you might be a pro racer, may not be a pro racer, you're probably just chilling, like, just normal dude, right? Just imagine the new national track comes out, right? You go download it. You want to go download it just to test it out, ride on it, see how fun it is, right? Well, with this whole system, this whole road system and the way they're making these tracks, if you want to go in there and download that track and just ride on it offline, you're just going to be sitting there flat tracking. That's all you're going to be doing is just flat tracking. The track is completely boring. Like, there is nothing to it. It's just flat. Everything's flat. It is a terrible experience to just go in there and ride by yourself in single player on one of these newer national tracks. They have completely killed that whole aspect of it, right? So then it's like, if you want to actually get the real track, the eroded version of the track, now you got to try to go online. Now you got to try to find enough people online to even race with it. And then that's a whole task in itself, because then it's like you either have too many people on a server and the erode is not making like it should, or you don't even have enough people on a server and then it's not even making any erode at all, and then you're flat tracking anyways. Whereas it used to be so simple. You could go in there and just download that new track and ride on it in single player, and it was that exact track. It was what you expected that track to be. You had ruts, you had roughness, you had skill gap. There was no flat tracking vibe. You had cool jumps, cool kickers on some jumps and all that. You had all that. They've completely killed that whole entire side of the game, where it's like being able to just get in there on a new track in single player or just go in there and ride on a random online server. They have totally ruined that whole aspect to MX Simulator, which is a massive part of the game, and it is just really sad to see that. But I've got something to say to all of you guys out there that used to pro race or play this game before there was ever a road in this game. Okay, listen to me. You cannot honestly sit here and tell me that this erode is making better or more realistic roughness or ruts than what can be pre-made in this game. There is no way that you can tell me that. There's no way. It's not doing that at all. It's not. Like, and I really think a lot of you guys deep down realize how erode is really just bullshit. Like deep down, you know that to be true. Like, you realize that. But you've got this sort of fantasy in your head like it's going to get better over time, or things are going to change, or, you've got this sort of like thing running through your head that you think it's going to get better, but it's just not. It's not getting better. It's not really changing. It's not doing it, guys. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but like, I really think a lot of you guys are not understanding what's going on here. You're just not getting it. And some of you like to hop on there on a, like a random track by yourself and have a little bit of erode on, and it's kind of fun. You're in there with like 2 or 3 of your buddies, like, oh, this is kind of cool. The track's changing over time. But that's not what erode really is when you get to the pro racing with 40 people on a completely flat track. It does not make nowhere near what you can make pre-made in this game. You can make so much more cool, accurate, like different style ruts and corners and different braking bumps, acceleration bumps, different kickers. You can make a lot better ruts going up jump faces. You can make better berms. You can actually make different styles of stuff, right, when it's pre-made. But now with this whole erode, it's doing the exact same thing on every track. So now you're getting that sort of vibe like you get in like some of the official Monster Energy Supercross, some of the milestones, some of the newer MX, like when MX vs. ATV All Out first came out, it just felt like every track felt the same, even though they're completely different dirt compounds, completely different areas of the world. Like, in real life, they would not be that similar at all. And with MX Simulator, you could make so much more difference of types of ruts and roughness and kickers, and you can make like more choppy roughness versus bigger red bud roughness. You can make blue groove ruts up jump faces versus like more smoothed out style ruts up jump faces. But the way erode does it is you just feel like you have the same kind of roughness, same kind of ruts vibe going on every single track. Every track really just feels the same now. And it kills me because they try to put erode in there to make more lines and give it more skill gap, right? So it's changing over time, and you can't just sit there and run laser laps on the track. But the real fact of the matter is it's done the complete opposite of that, okay? In my opinion, in Supercross, it's taken the entire skill gap out of it with the amount of erode they put on that, because they have it to the point to where it's so much erode that about after lap 1 or 2, you're not even hitting massive quad lines anymore, like that true old school MX Simulator Supercross skill. That's not even part of it anymore. You're going way slower everywhere else around the track because you have to tiptoe on your absolute fucking Jordans when it comes to a road with how sketchy and how quick it tries to pull your front end down and how slick it feels. You know, that really unrealistic road terrain deformation feeling that MX Simulator actually has when you actually get on the Erode itself. You know, all of that, it's completely erased, in my opinion, the true Supercross skill gap of this game. That whole actually having to have flow on a track and hitting huge lines, and it just kills every bit of that. And when you get to the motocross tracks, I feel like it's also killed the skill gap on that as well, because they're making their tracks so simplistic now. They're making them so smooth to where you just get on there and then everybody's going in the exact same line because there's really only one rut because all the ruts are the same exact smooth size. So everybody's going in that same exact line. A lot of times it's the inside line, right? Or the very far outside line if it's a bigger berm, and then that one line just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You don't want to go anywhere else because everywhere else is so goddamn smooth. So everybody's going in the literal exact same spot. It's not even making really more lines. It's not. Maybe once you get like to lap, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, and you literally cannot go in that certain rut because of how weird cupped out it gets in this game, your bike literally will not go through it without falling down, then at that point you have to go somewhere else. But the majority of the race, everybody's running in the exact same rut line. Like, it's not really, in the whole side of it, lowering the skill gap on the motocross side is, I feel like with them making the track so smooth, it doesn't have the same kind of skill gappy roughness that it used to have. It's got this bizarre, close together, small, choppy, weird. It's not true motocross roughness skill gap, in my opinion, like what the old school MX tracks used to have on MX Sim. And it doesn't have that true, like, rut in the corner skill gap anymore, in my opinion. It's got these weird made, pray to God your front end doesn't get ripped down style rut. It's just completely different. I don't know how to explain it. But it's not, I don't feel like it's more skill gapped. I really don't. I don't feel like even the motocross or the supercross is more skill gapped because of Erode. I think it's lowered the skill gap, and it's lowered the genuine, like, what makes that certain kind of racing what it is on MX Simulator. Like, the motocross doesn't even really feel like the motocross used to feel like on MX Sim anymore, and the Supercross doesn't feel like what the Supercross used to feel like anymore. They've just completely warped every bit of the feeling of the game. And I hate to break it to you, RF, but all of your people that weren't so into this Erode and weren't really feeling the vibe on this, they're already gone, all right? You've already lost them. Like, they're not here to even give you negative opinions about this anymore. They're not even there, dude. Literally, the only people that are still pro racing in this game right now are the absolute die-hard MX Simulator fans, which is me, and the people that are die-hard Erode fans on MX Simulator. That's the only people that you still have playing pro racing in this game right now. So, RF, anytime you see people typing in chat or typing on the forums now, like, oh, Erode's not so bad. Oh, I kind of liked Erode. Oh, I had no problems with Erode in this race. Well, you're not seeing the negative outcry and all the people that disagree and don't like it because they're not even racing anymore. You've already killed them off. They're not even here anymore. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like that's RF's not understanding the general full-scale population of MX Simulator. They're only understanding that small little group of people that are trying to go in there and run on Erode, and it's just sad. It really is. Like, It honestly, to me, feels like RF cares more about having Erode in the pro racing than they do actually giving you a full-blown, proper, professional, top-tier, professional racing experience. Like, they care more about putting Erode in there than they do giving you the whole point of pro racing RF in this game in the first place. And they literally admitted that. Jeremy Cohenhauer admitted to that in chat. I think it was the Fox Raceway. He said something along the lines of, like, basically, if we weren't doing this whole Erode thing, then RF wouldn't even have enough people running it, and we wouldn't even be interested in doing it anymore if we weren't testing the Erode and doing different things with the Erode. So they literally just admitted that if it wasn't for them going in here and fucking around and jacking around with Erode, then they wouldn't even be doing it. So you see how they no longer have the overall scope and scale and what's the best thing for MX Simulator as a whole anymore. That's not their priority. It is, let's go in here and test this Erode, do more with Erode, and see what the fuck happens. That's really what they're doing. Like, I mean, how much more do I need to say? The proof is in the pudding. Dude fucking said it in chat. One of the RF officials literally said that in chat. I mean, need I say any more, bro? Oh, man. Like, it's honestly to the point to where if I don't stop doing this pro racing and outdoors 2-day qualifying on a highway, complete lag to absolute death in the actual race, absolute ridiculous, flat tracking to enduro cross throughout the race. If I don't stop doing this, it's going to make me not even want to play MX Simulator at all anymore. That's literally what they have drove me to at this point. It's insane. They have made me hate this game in so many ways that I never even thought was possible. I literally never even thought it would ever happen. Like, good God, RF, you have found a way to ruin one of the best games. This game has the most potential of any of those motocross games out there. All of them. It's got more potential than any of them, and you are finding ways to completely destroy the fun of this game. Like I said, I didn't even think it was possible. But by God, you guys have found a way to do it. Like, God damn, man. You have got to come to an understanding. I mean, good Lord. Like, and that's what I'm saying is RF is just seeing it from such a perspective, and they've proven that over the past 2 years, just cramming Erode down our throats. Like, did all of us ever really come together and vote on, you know what, we really want to have Erode, let's start running that in the pro racing? Like, did we really do that? Because I don't remember if we did. Maybe we did. I know I didn't vote for the shit, but there may have been some people that voted to, like, let's go in there and test it, right? Let's go in there and see what it does, but I don't think any of us really wanted it to just be thrown right into the pro racing 100%, crazy Erode that has never even really been truly tested on MX Simulator. No one really wanted that. Where the hell did that even come from? Like, I don't even know. And it, like, seriously, if it was so necessary for us to have a terrain deformation system in the pro racing, or it's like, oh, MX Simulator would die if we didn't have Erode, then why the hell are there less people playing this game now than there was before we had Erode? I mean, explain that to me, RF. The proof is in the pudding in every way. There's less people playing this game now. You couldn't even fill up the gates at the end of Supercross last year. That's only 22 people in the 450 class. I remember multiple times there wasn't even enough people to fill up the gates. So now you're ruining that whole pro racing feeling, like the whole entire meaning of it and everything else around it. Whew. She's going down the shitter hole so quick, boys. I can't even hardly fathom it. And I don't even know if it's recoverable. Like I'm saying, that's the part of it that's so hard pill to swallow, is I don't even know if it's recoverable, because they are so diehard, put this Erode in there. They literally say they wouldn't even do RF if it wasn't for them going in here and jacking around with the Erode. They wouldn't even be interested in doing it, right? So it's like, I mean, how much more needs to be proven, guys? Man, but it's just like, it's already been proven not to work. Like I'm saying, all of you guys that used to play this game before Erode, you cannot tell me that this is making more realistic roughness, realistic braking bumps, realistic. It's not than what you can pre-make in the game. There is no way. And then this much change over time, that's not even realistic anyways. You understand what I'm saying? The tracks don't change as much over time in real life motocross. There's no way. And this weird cupped out, V'd out, splicing terrain deformation rut system, you can obviously tell the fucking game is not like really meant for it. It's not really optimized for it. If you were going to do a terrain deformation, you should do that in a MX Simulator 2. You shouldn't try to go in here and make something that was never even really meant to be a full-blown feature in a game from 2007 and try to make it work in the pro racing. Like, what? This is so common sense. This is so obvious. Like, okay, RF, we went in there, we tried it, we tested it. It hasn't really worked. It just hasn't. There's no cush to the dirt, 420 blaze it. It's still not making what you can pre-make in the game. Is it changing over time? Yeah, but it doesn't even really change that much over time in real life motocross. I mean, holy shit. You would be getting just as much quote-unquote realistic changing over time if you just went in there and had two different versions of the track, like I was saying. You know, having like a Moto 1 version of a motocross track and then a Moto 2 version, and the Moto 2 version's like way more fucked up. That would be just about as realistic as it is in real life. Obviously, there's some times where it's going to rut up more, especially if it's like a little bit wet or whatever, but this whole going from 0 to 100, this shit is wearing everybody out. And it just amplifies the repetitive nature of the qualifying, because you can't just, even with the 2-day open qualifying, like if the track was just one way, that wouldn't be that big of a deal. But it's the fact that you sit there and you're burning through 3 or 4 laps before there's even big enough ruts to even remotely run a fast lap, and then you've got like 1 or 2 laps in there, and then the session's over, right? So then it's like you feel like half your qualifying laps are completely pointless, because you know you're not going to be able to run a fast lap if the ruts aren't built that much. So then you go in there and you're running, hundreds and hundreds of laps for what? Like, for what? They've got it to the point to where the goddamn qualifying is a bigger ordeal than the actual fucking race. Why the hell is that a thing, RF? What? I really don't understand what you were doing with this game. Why are you doing this? Feels like a goddamn nightmare. There is so many names, so many people I used to see in this game. The servers used to be so popping off back in the day, with the random online servers without Erode, but they have completely changed this game in a way to where it's like 2 completely different games, right? So you've got your pre-Erode, and then you've got your after they started putting Erode in the game. See, and it never should be that way in one singular game. It shouldn't be that way. You should have it to where it's no Erode in MX Simulator, and then maybe start trying to do some sort of terrain deformation on an MX Simulator 2. But now they've got it to the point to where you go back and play all of those thousands and thousands of old custom tracks on MX Sim, and it's like, okay, well, this doesn't have Erode, and then now you're like getting on newer tracks, and then some tracks are made for Erode, some tracks aren't made for Erode, some tracks are completely flat, and you have to have Erode, but you can't really get Erode proper unless you have the exact right amount of people with the exact right amount of Erode on it, and then it has just created a absolute clusterfuck that I cannot believe it, guys. I cannot believe it. If MX Simulator dies, which some people say it's already dead from Erode, and I can damn near believe that shit, because they've killed all the random online server racing. They've killed that whole vibe where you can just go in there and, let's go download the new Lakewood motocross track. Let me just go run a couple laps on it. Well, if you try to do that now, you're just going to be sitting there flat tracking on a goddamn highway the whole entire time. That's all you're going to be doing. So it's not even fun. You're just like, fuck this. And they've got this super Play-Doh basic ass looking decal on these newer tracks. It makes them feel so weird to me. I don't know what they're doing. They're trying to make it to where you can actually see the Erode more, but now the goddamn decal on the track looks like a game from 1995. Like, fuck. I mean, it's just, oh, boys, I don't know what else to say. But this race, I mean, literally had a handful of wrecks that was 100% caused from the lag that is caused from Erode. So that on top of everything else, right? I couldn't give 2 shits about my finish in this race. I was like, I don't even give a fuck. If that Erode lag is going to cause me to wreck like that multiple times directly from the lag, it just makes it to where you don't even care anymore. Like, I'm starting to get this feeling to where it's like, I don't even care. There's no, like, it's not even fun anymore. There's no fun to going in there and qualifying for 2 days. There's no fun going in there flat tracking on these tracks. That's not fun at all. There's no fun. They've sucked all the fun out of it. It is just, man, I hope I've explained my points, guys, because it's getting pitiful out here. I just really don't understand RF's mindset. I don't understand why. Why are you continuing to push this hard? Why? We all know, deep down, we all know that this shit ain't got nothing on the racing experience of this game back in, 2014, 15, 16, and 17, motocross and supercross. We all know this is complete trash compared to that. And if you don't think that, then you're delusional. You're not even understanding what's going on, or you didn't race back in that day and didn't realize the fun and excitement and professional feeling and the barely ever have lag during an actual race. And if you did have, they would red flag it or restart it or have it on a different night or whatever. And the qualifying felt so much more realistic. And just having the difference of like pre-made track designs was so fun to go in there and test all that out and see what they've come up with. But now it's just a road down your throat, a road that's not even made for this game and doesn't even fit in this game. But they're still trying to push it, still trying to do it. So either way, if you guys don't see me on the next pro race, you know why. Because it's literally almost to the point where it's going to make me never even want to play this game ever again by how they're doing this. I mean, it is just, it's so bad, dude. I never thought I could hate this game in the ways that Erode makes me hate this game. It has just done such a number on it. I can no longer just go on there and hop on a random online server and be like, oh yeah, let's just go race on this really fun track, and there's a lot of people on there, there's a flourishing random online community. No, it's like maybe one server that probably doesn't even have the right amount of riders for the right amount of Erode on it, so it's a completely fucked up racing experience at that, and it's just people are leaving this game one by one, man. And that's the thing that I keep trying to explain about Erode. It's not just the Erode itself. It's killing so many other aspects, and it comes with so many more problems that it's not worth it in 100 years. Not even close. The positive, the benefits of what you're getting out of the Erode is not worth the negatives. There is no goddamn way you couldn't convince me of that ever. You could not. Like I'm saying, if you're wanting to get that a little bit more of changing over time feeling, god damn, go in there and have 90% pre-made and 10% Erode, or 80% pre-made and 20% Erode, or go in there and have 3 or 4 different versions of a certain track. It's not that hard to go in there and have a base track and then just change up your pre-made ruts and roughness a little bit to make it a little bit different between Moto 1, 2, 3, and 4. You could do that. You could do that, guys, and still have that little bit of changing over time top vibe going on. Your qualifying would be back to normal and fixed. Your fucking racing would be so much better. You wouldn't have this road lag. Let me burp some, dog. Like in 24, not even giving a shit. It's just the professionalism just seems totally gone now. To the point to where it just feels like you're just running the motions. I just have this feeling like, man, when is this race going to be over? And it's not just the Erode, guys. It's not like, oh, I just suck at Erode, goddamn, man. I've gotten 5th, 6th, 7th place finishes in main events in Supercross, and trust me, that Erode was just as bad as this shit. Trust me, dog. So that's what I'm trying to get at is it gives you more of that feeling of I'm just ready for this shit to be over. These ruts don't feel realistic. They're cupped the fuck out in such a weird... Look at this splicing. Let me see if I can try to show this to you. See how this it's making this triangled out splicing effect. You ever go in there and make, if you ever go in there on the track editor and you just kind of make a quick little sketch of a rut in a corner and you're and you didn't smooth anything out, you're like, holy shit, what is that? It literally looks like the game is just barfed up this weird terrain on your rut, right? And that's what the goddamn terrain deformation Erode system makes in this game. And look at this. It'll literally build the rut completely outside of these little yellow barriers. So when you're qualifying, you don't know because if you cut any part of the track in qualifying, then it doesn't count your lap, which it shouldn't, right? But the problem is the goddamn rut goes outside of the yellow banners, the little yellow fucking sticks. There's just so many issues, dude. Whew. I can't even explain it. Another example right here. You can go, what the hell are they doing right here? Why the hell is this yellow little off-track stick so far away from the inside tough block. You know how confusing that was in qualifying? Like, do I need to go all the way out here to the yellow banner? Do I need to go to the inside of it? Like, and it's a lot more frustrating than it seems, because you know if you cut even 0.1 of a second, it's not going to count your lap. So you can't afford to have any little cut of the track at all. But the freaking Erode won't even keep you on the track. The rut itself forms to off of the track itself. Like, good God, bro. Another example, this up here. Look at the rut. You've got a goddamn rut that's literally going off of the track itself. Good God. Like, what? There is so many problems with this, man. Oh, man. Look at the triangled. Oh, my God. You know what this looks like? This looks like a goddamn amateur track maker in this game. Like a full-blown beginner track maker went in here and tried to make a track. That's what the after-eroded track looks like on MX Simulator. It literally looks like somebody that doesn't know how to design a track came in here and tried to make a track. The roughness, the ruts, the whole 9 yards, all of it. That's what it feels like to me compared to those really good pre-made rut, roughness, braking bump kind of tracks are in this game. I mean, it literally feels like a beginner is making these tracks. Oh, man. I don't give a fuck who you are, and I don't give a fuck what you think. You cannot say that this is better than the way the tracks felt back in the days of 2014, 15, 16, 17. This is not better. There is no way you could stretch your imagination to think this is better. It's not better. It's not more realistic. It's not better. It's just different as fuck. But it ain't better. I can promise you that, dude. It is not better at all. So either way, that's my race. Another rant. You know what it is, boys. Till they start fixing this shit, I've got to keep coming in here and saying it. Because if I just stop covering this and just stop pro racing and just leave the game, it's just going to go on its merry little way and just die completely out. There ain't going to be nobody playing this shit anymore. And then my favorite game is just going to be gone. My favorite pro racing experience of this game is just going to be gone. If I don't continue to come in here and keep voicing my opinion on this shit. Like, seriously, guys, that's what's going to happen to it. So, either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.